Okay, this is part 3 of the vibe coding series and part 2 of this project. In part 1, we built this game that I paid somebody a long time ago to build for one of my friends, and they kind of left us on the finish line, and so we rebuilt it. And the first time I tried to build it, I tried to just kind of like give the agent to build it all, and it really screwed it up. So last time, in the last video, we built it just as text-based. To get the logic down, to make sure we got all those pieces in place. I'm not sure how much that will help it going forward. This is actually the third time I'm trying to do this. The first 2 times I screwed up in some kind of newbie ways because I'm not a full stack or a front-end developer, and so that shows that even with vibe coding, you do need to know how to code to some degree. It is very helpful to understand what is what and understand what to ask for, because the first time I asked for the wrong things, and the second time I didn't realize what was going on, and so we're starting over, and we'll go ahead and start our stopwatch, and we'll again use agent and 3.5 Sonnet. I'm not using 3.7 because sometimes that stops. Oh, it looks like 4.5 preview, but we'll leave it on this for right here. I don't think there's a huge difference. Okay, that took about 3 minutes and did quite a bit of things. And the first time I asked this, I did not include this line right here. And it did not create the game.js that last time. It just created the server.py. So I think we have this installed, but we'll go ahead and maybe we'll just go ahead and pip install this. Dot. I don't like to use the command line within here, even though it does kind of speed things up in some ways. Okay, so now, okay, I've started up this server. Let's check out, see if it's working. Okay, not sure exactly what happens here because I tried this right here and it did not work. It did tell me to do the index, which is not how it worked last time I ran this, but let's see if the game works. First, what we'll do is it's current turn, player 1. Can we play from? We cannot. Okay, so that's good. Let's see if we can play. Play selected. Should have given me a score. Oh no, it shouldn't have given me a score. Okay. Okay, there is a lot wrong with this. I don't know. Let's see if it ends the game. Player 2 wins with 0 points. Okay, let's refresh. So it's not actually playing things. Let's try to see if B. Oh. Well, let us play all 3 at once. It's supposed to go to the bonus round. It did not score. Okay, there's a lot of issues here, and we wanted to make sure. Let's make sure we tag all the relevant pieces here. We're in the game.js. I believe that's where most of the logic happens. Let's actually remove this. Many issues. I believe most or all of this logic is inside game.js. Okay, let's see what happens. We are currently at about 11 minutes, and so the actual coding time it spent was about 3, but then actually testing it and trying to document what is wrong is what takes most of the time. Okay, that took about a minute. I'm going to accept all the changes. Let's kind of review real quick. Okay. Okay. I wonder if I need the do I need the server running for this to actually work? Let me ask a question. I'm just gonna ask. It's weird. It's sticking in here. We want to actually be in JS at server to run server.py for index.html to work. Index. Why is that not showing up? That's weird. Okay. Well, oh, it's using that for validate word. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll rerun this just in case there were some changes there. And we'll refresh this. Okay, so now let's try to do Okay, so it did validate the word when I tried to put X on there, so that's good. Okay, it took the card from the hand. All right, this is good, and it noted that, and it gave a point. Okay, so I successfully went to the steal mode, so that's good. Although it said, put your, where do you want to put your your letter, but it didn't tell me which one I stole, so that's still improvement. And it did seem to take me into a weird place. I think I'm in no man's land here. Okay, second time around was way, way better. There's still an issue that happened during the steal phase, so we'll go ahead and give it a go there. And we are at about 20 minutes now. And part of that time is me trying to play the game. I'm not a good word game player, so some percentage of that is me trying to figure out how to play so I can test it. Okay, it claims it has made the changes here, so we'll restart the server. And we'll refresh the page, and let's see if we can get it to work. So I played these 3 separate letters. That seemed to work. The scoring was correct, and now you stole a letter E. Now a position to play it. Let's try to play it in a place where it shouldn't work. Okay. Did it? Play selected? No. Okay, so it's allowing me to play things where I shouldn't. So play's still pretty not working. Let's see. Let's just make sure server.py. Well, let me tag index. It's super weird. "23 minutes. Wow, it made a lot of changes. We might actually have to add some of the debugging. I'm actually kind of curious if, yeah, it didn't replicate any of the logging information, so we might actually have to implement that to start figuring out what's going on. But let's rerun it and see if we can get this to work. Okay, still a lot of issues during this steal phase, which seems to be confusing it. So currently we're at 30 minutes and 400 plus lines of code. Almost 500 now, accept all. And I've not written a single line of the code. I can kind of read JavaScript, but I am not a JavaScript developer. So let's hope that this fixed it, because it's kind of had the same issue for a while and starting to feel like it's in a loop. Okay, actually, I think the game is working correctly now. Other than a little bit of, like, for some reason it kind of puts these numbers on and takes them off at kind of random times. Otherwise, it works just fine. So I can do the steal phase, which kind of feels unfair. I think there's maybe some game balancing here stuff, where a lot of times we can just play all of their letters. So we have G. It's gourds. Gourds. Oh, I guess it has an O in it. Okay. So it'll give me another chance. Wog is not a word. Guess we just put it here. And then we stole an F, put it there, get a point. And we have an O, just put it there. We're gonna take his whole hand. Sour. Oh, it's an R. Is were. Rig. Sig. See, we stole. It says current player too, but that's not accurate. Oh, I think it just automatically went to their turn, but they can't play anything. So now it's player one's turn. I feel like it should kind of refill their game, but anyway, and so we end the turn a bunch of times. Player wins. So we're at about 35 minutes here. I'd be curious to see if we wanted to take this to where we could put this up and two players on different browsers can get this to where they can play against each other. Okay, I took a few minutes, so it probably took me 3-4 minutes to write this prompt. I'm not sure this is everything we need, but basically I thought I might shoot a separate video for this, but I wonder if we can get this in, if we can keep vibing here and get this to be actually something I can publish online and have people play right now if people go to the website. And so let's say we're going to publish to the internet and allow people to play one-on-one matches. So we would need kind of like a search for a game, where if no one else is playing for a game, it just waits, and if somebody else comes to play, it matches them together. And then we need to only show each player their own hand, and we should also add a turn timer here. I considered waiting for that, but we'll just go ahead and rock this and see what happens. Okay, that took a while. It probably coded for about 3-4 minutes. Looks like it wants us to do pip install -r requirements.txt. Kind of curious how this will work. Python server.py. All right. Localhost. Is it 5,000? Okay. Okay, so it's funny because I changed it just to ask, and it still is recommending some changes, so we'll just go ahead and do that. We've restarted the server. Let's see if it works now. Okay. Let's do the index. Index works. Okay, so we copied and pasted the command line output, and maybe that will help it. Switch back to agent. We'll let it create a directory. Did it create it? It did. Okay. Okay. Now let's see. Yes. Yes. Okay, so if we search for game, searching for opponent, search for game, is it going to connect the two? Maybe if we do it in like a different browser. Search for game. No. Okay, so it's not connecting the game. the two games when two people click on it. We're coming up on an hour. I'm not sure this is going to quite make it to where I can just upload this and people can play the game on the website. But it does feel like we're probably pretty close. It sure seems confident it figured out what's going on. And I have to keep tagging the server.py, which is a little annoying, and that might have been why. I don't think I tagged it last time. It doesn't keep it in the context window. Something that maybe Windsurf is supposed to do a little bit better. Okay, we're gonna vibe it up here. We're not gonna review it, we're just gonna roll with it, and let's see what happens. Okay, so we're gonna refresh this. Refresh this. Search for game. Search for game. Aha! Okay. Actually, it seems like it is working. Okay, so this has... Let me play it here for a second. Ooh, the tour is not a valid word. Okay, that didn't work. So there's now some new issues. But the connecting to the game, let's see if I do end my turn. Can I now? End turn. End turn. Okay. Well, that's over. It's unclear. Oh, it's showing. Okay, we're still working with some issues here. I'm gonna keep tagging the server.py. Are there any other files that we really need? Why are there two indexes? Okay, that's kind of weird, but whatever. So the word validation isn't working correctly. And something weird happens when a player clicks the in turn button. Alright, and then also each player can end the other player's turn, which is obviously not good. Really hoping to be able to put this up online to allow people to play. Okay, that didn't take that long, so we'll re-roll this, kill the server, and try to play again. Search for game. Search for game. Okay, so I'm player 1 and this one's player 2. So J O G. Play cards. Jog is not a valid word. Okay, so that's not working. Okay, so word validation is still not working correctly. But the players can still end their turns. End of the player's turn. Okay, I'm kind of telling it what to do here, and especially with the word validation, sometimes just the debugging really kind of tells us what's going on. And then here it's just like, hey, gray out and disable the button when it is the other player's turn. Okay, we're over an hour here, but let's see if we can get this kind of completed up here. Not feeling real confident that it's going to be able to solve this completely. Search for game. Although it does feel like we're progressing through this. Okay, so look, this is disabled, so that's good. Let's just put this here and do play cards. Use is not, so it is, so end turn. So it's player 2's turn. Okay, so it fixed everything except for the validation. So let's see if we've got any debugging. Oh. Okay, I wonder if I got an idea. I wonder if I need to copy the .env file to each one of these directories. Okay, that didn't seem to fix it. It does seem to be giving me some sort of error here. So a keyword argument proxies. I wonder if we just go proxies. Or is it here? Proxies. I don't understand. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to... So we just copy and paste that into there and let it figure out a version mismatch. I wonder if it's just not doing... Because it's running it in here. What if we needed to do tag it for the web? We'll see if it can fix it this way. Also running this pip upgrade OpenAI. Pretty sure I'm fine on it, but we'll run it anyways. Success! Alright, and then tour. So actually, let's check out this player's hand and see if it takes it from there. Oh, it doesn't. It's not doing the steal phase. I did. Okay. Okay, so it's not doing the steal phase exactly correctly, but we're really close here. So I'm over an hour, and I do kind of have to stop now, but I think I'm going to come back to this later and wrap this up and put it up on the internet. So those of you who are actually here, by the time you get to this part of the video, hopefully I'll have the website back up. I did purchase userwords.online, and we'll see if we can get this game up and running on that. And you know, not that it's a big deal, but the fact that, you know, maybe with another 20 to 30 minutes of work, we can have this game fully up and online with vibe coding. I definitely could not have done this without vibe coding. I do not know JavaScript. I mean, I can kind of read it, and maybe I could have gone through it and done a bunch of stuff, but the game.js is apparently has no code in it. Is it this one? I moved to here. Over 600 lines. Server.py is 169 lines. How long is index.html? Index.html is 200 lines. Style.css, 150 lines. I didn't write any of this. So hopefully, you know, I definitely think this is a lot faster. Now, this isn't like a super secure thing. I'm sure there's some issues if I put it up online. With people playing, some additional issues we'll run into, so maybe it'll take a little bit longer. We'll see. But yeah, if this is the end of the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next. Okay, I came back to this a few days later, and I decided to see if I could push it to the internet, but then I realized that there were still some bugs in there, and it was at 672 lines of code when I started 36 minutes ago. Now it's at 1166, and it's stuck in a loop where it cannot handle. And I upgraded, you know, I changed it to Claude 3.7. It is stuck in a loop where there's an error during one of the key phases, and I think it's getting harder and harder for it to fix it as it adds more and more code. So I think this is the situation that you can find yourself in with the current models. And this is with me telling it what to do, and this is not it automatically going on a loop. If you imagine it automatically going on a loop, this situation is going to be a lot worse. And you know, to be fair, this is kind of a complex interaction that requires, you know, that it requires a lot of things to happen just so. But it is having trouble understanding that, and it keeps adding more and more, and it feels like it's kind of painted itself into a corner. So I'm gonna call this right now. Maybe I'll come back to this another time. Maybe start over from scratch. Maybe simplify. See if my friend will be willing to simplify the rules to create a simpler version of it. That could work. But I think part of it is also there's some uniqueness here that is not in other games, and not you know, if you're building a game that's just like a different skin on the same mechanics that is in 1,000 different games, or a million different games, then I expect it to work a lot better. So if you're just cloning something, this should work a lot more accurately. But this is something that I have found in a lot of other times when I've tried to kind of vibe code. The code is such a mess. I am not a JavaScript coder, and so while I probably could go in here and edit it. It would take a very long time to kind of walk through all of these. Potentially, maybe I could find the bug real quickly, but that's not the point of this exercise. The point of this exercise is to see if we can really vibe code our way to success here. And I know that there are times where it does work, but this is one of those where it doesn't. And so, in a sense, all this code that we have right now is essentially a burden, and it is a tech debt. It's tech debt. And so it's not necessarily good. More code, not better. Like, we are 500 lines later of JavaScript code. We are in a worse situation. I believe a few things were fixed. So I've got a trail of the steal phase isn't working correctly. Player screens, more steal phase. A little bit. I haven't even checked to see if it fixed that one correctly, because more steal phase in the last few times. The steal phase has been just getting worse and worse. And I restarted the thread here, and sometimes that helps, but in this case it didn't help. So we'll just I'll give it one more go here, and if it doesn't work, if it gets into the same, if we can't fix it, then we'll just scrap it and start over another time. Yeah, new steal phase errors. It's added a few more lines, another 20 lines of code. Again, I'm going to call this one, and it took another 5 minutes or so to kind of navigate that. And again, I think this is the endless loop that you can find yourself in. So vibe coding doesn't always work. Now, there is something to be said for just scrapping it and starting over again. Maybe it'll get it. But also, I do think that there are some things where it's just going to endless loop, maybe 19 times out of 20, maybe 100 times out of 100. It's hard to say at this point. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you have any ideas, let me know. I think I'm going to try to do a variety of other things, because there are things that do work with vibe coding. And so I'll do subscribe for more Python development and vibe coding and coding with AI content. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.